In this video, we're going to talk about evaluating expressions. If the camera comes into focus here. If, for instance, we happen to know that x was equal to 3, y was equal to 2, and z, which is kind of hard to see there, it's a z with a little line through it, so you don't mistake it for a 2. If that equals -5, then we want to be able to evaluate an expression like this. What is 2x squared plus x minus 2? And the idea is this. If we know that x is equal to 3, we're just going to simply take the number 3 and replace every x with it. So we really have 2 times 3 squared plus 3 minus 2. Now we have to go through, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and say, okay, well, we've got parentheses first, and there's nothing inside the parentheses I need to evaluate. Nothing inside the parentheses I need to evaluate. So I can't simplify those any further. Let's move on to the next step, which is exponents. We do have an exponent. So I'm going to take the 2 times 3 squared. I'm going to take this 3 squared, I'm going to rewrite it as 3 times 3, which is 9. I really have then 2 times 9 plus 3 minus 2. Now you'll notice I didn't rewrite the parentheses. That's because they're not really necessary here. In fact, these parentheses are not going to be necessary in just a second, because the next step after exponents comes multiplication or division. It doesn't matter what you do first. We only have multiplication here. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 3 minus 2. And now we have a simple problem, right? 18 plus 3 is 21. 21 minus 2 is 19. And we're done. So this expression, if x is equal to 3, 2x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 19. Let's go on to the second one. We have yz minus x cubed. The whole thing cubed. So we're going to take every single number that we know and we're going to replace it, or letter that we know, and we're going to replace it with the number that it corresponds to. So y is 2. In fact, let's do this. Square brackets now, since I have parentheses outside of parentheses. Z is -5 minus x, which is 3. I'm going to take that whole thing, I'm going to cube it. So I now go like this. Parentheses. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses first. Looks like I can go ahead and simplify this stuff inside the parentheses first. 2 times a -5 is a -10. Minus 3. And that whole thing is going to be cubed. Now I'm going to go through and I can simplify this even further inside the parentheses before I go to the exponent, right? Please excuse. P before E. So now I have -13. I'm going to take that, I'm going to cube it. So now it's time for the calculator. I'm not going to try to do that one in my head. Probably could. I'll take -13 and I need to cube that. And it turns out to be -2,197. And there's your answer. So if we know that y is equal to 2, x is equal to 3, z is equal to -5, then this expression is equal to -2197. Last one more. Same thing. I'm going to go through, I'm going to replace everything. And you notice once again, I'm going to have parentheses inside of these parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and use square brackets here. Top of the fraction is going to look like this. X is 3, y is 2, z is -5. And on the bottom I have x, which is 3, minus y, which is 2, plus z, which is -5. And that whole thing is going to be taken to the 4th power. There we go. There's my expression so far. Now I'm going to look and I'm going to say, okay, well, I don't really see anything up here that I can simplify as far as inside each set of individual parentheses. Nothing here. But if I look here at this group of parentheses, yeah, I can definitely simplify that, can't I? So there's my first step. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times a -5 is a -30. So the top of the fraction becomes a -30. On the bottom I have 3 minus 2, which is 1. 1 plus a -5. 1 minus 5 is -6. I'm going to take all this, remember, and take it to the 4th power. I cannot forget that exponent. Now, I know that if I have negative divided by negative, those negatives are going to cancel out. So I really have 30 divided by 6. If I'm a good mathematician, I know that that is 5. So I'm going to take that 5 now. I'm going to raise it to the 4th power. Now I can do that in my head. It's not that bad, actually, but I have the number 5. I'm going to raise it to the 4th power. Turns out to be 625. If you understand this, then you're ready for the homework.